Feature check. A feature check is a means of checking parameters or features within my signal versus a preset acceptance criteria. So that could be either greater than, within a certain range, lower than, and a couple of other things. So the way I go about doing that is first I need some data. This is my data. It's got 5 traces on there, and I'll be checking each and one of those versus these criteria. I could choose, this is a current reading, so I'll choose amperometry. Doesn't matter if it's discrete or continuous for this purpose. We're actually just only looking at specific regions within the signal, so it doesn't really matter. So first thing I'll do is to toggle the feature check. That will pop up a submenu, and I can go and configure my AOI, or areas of interest. The way I do that is by clicking on the graph to define a region. So I'll just call this region 1. And if I want to adjust the limits of this rectangle, I can. So now let's say I want to 250 until 300. And I can have as many regions as I'd like. So let's actually just put 1 for now. You can name it, and it's also pop up here. If you want to edit it here, you can do that too. And if you want to add graphs without interactivity, or areas rather, you can just click this button. So I'm going to go ahead and click OK. I'm happy with this region, and I'm happy with the way that came out. Now I've specified the region. The next thing to do is to set my criteria. So adding a criteria or a feature is done by hitting the plus sign. You can add as many as you like. So since I had a region here, before the first event, maybe I could set, if I take the average within that region, and I'm saying that the value extracted should be greater than this value that I specify here. So let's say, okay, I want my signal to be actually below 0.1, okay. Then I'll actually go ahead and choose less than. Or I could do a range, if I want to do that, between 0 and 0.1. Let's keep it simple for now. We choose one feature, we choose one area. Let's see what that gives us. All right, so it's plotted my new graph. It's indicated my area, and I've gotten a new table. Let's go ahead and resize that. And I'll move myself out of the way. So what it's done now, it's taken all of those traces that I had in my graph. You can see that the names reflect the legend names over here. We have the area specified. In the case where I'd have more areas, they would just append to the list, like here, okay, with say region 2 or something like that. We've set type of validation, which is an average in this case. We could have also taken like the minimum within, the maximum within. And the validation is that the value extracted, meaning the mean of this trace within this area, should be lower than 0.1. And what we can observe now is that we have one fail, and that's this guy, that's the green guy, because that actually is above 0.1, whereas the rest passed. So you can do these kinds of validations. I'll quickly run through what is available. So we can do the mean, all right, or the average. We can extract the maximum within this area, the minimum. We can also check the standard deviation. So this is useful in case you want to set some criteria for noise. And we also have these two that are called delta X and delta Y. These are kind of special in the sense that they only work with 2 regions, and that is if you take 2 regions, it will look at the differences between the regions. It will extract the parameter of each region. It will subtract them, and then that's what we will put the validation towards. And the validation, as I said, can be greater than, less than, or within a range. So if it's within a range, you both have to set the minimum and the maximum value. So that's it for the feature check.